In an address to the Russian people today, Vladimir Putin claimed he's developed a new arsenal of weapons that the U.S. cannot counter. These include a nuclear-powered cruise missile, a hypersonic missile that can strike anywhere, and a nuclear-powered underwater drone.
The speech that had seemed relentlessly domestic suddenly took an explosive turn. No one expected Vladimir Putin's annual address to Parliament to involve advanced missile systems and strategic weapons amid talk of job creation and better roads in the years ahead. It was a response, he said, to years of unchecked advances by the United States. It was a response, he said, to years of unchecked advances by the United States.
Putin also said, Sandra, that these weapons that he has just obtained do not exist anywhere else in the world. That has yet to be confirmed. But one highly respected Russian military analyst I spoke to earlier said that these weapons are for real and that the nuclear arms race is back on full scale. That Moscow's protestations about ditching the treaty were ignored by the U.S. The quote of the day, probably from Putin, was perhaps, quote, "Nobody listened to us, so listen to us now." He also said, after all the applause from the audience died down, "I hope this will, quote, sober up any potential aggressor." Quote, "Nobody listened to us, so listen to us now." Quote, "Nobody listened to us, so listen to us now." Quote, "Nobody listened to us, so listen to us."
Shalom, all praises and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah Hakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect as well, okay, and the elect. There's a labor and a sincerity scattered throughout the globe. Now, I want to touch on a video. I was, just looking across the internet, and it's titled, "U.S. Military is getting ready to wipe Russia off the map." Okay. World War III. Okay. Omnius initiation. Okay. So I don't understand why, but you have people who are very patriotic to America. Okay. But the sins of America has reached the heavens. Okay. And the Lord Yahweh, the one you call God, will punish it. Okay? Now, when you understand America and how it was set up, the thievery, the robbery, it's all in the history books, although they're trying to wipe it out of the way, wipe it out of existence. Even the so-called, we say so-called white people because you're not white, and because you have some of our people who may look white. But we say the Caucasian race, the Jews, the fake Jews anyway, who was behind all of it and had this place set up, and they raped, robbed, and stole America, okay? They have to pay for that, okay? That's how it was set up, under bloodshed, okay? Auctioning, okay? Castrating, lynching. Now, you can say, well, war's been going through the beginning. I hear that argument. There's been wars and that's been going on. Well, guess what? The white man ain't started his conquest here in America. He was over in Europe doing it. There was colored people, so-called, in Europe. Okay, and he conquered that. Okay. When he came back into power, guess what? There was so-called black people in Europe running that, and Spain, Portugal. Hey man, we was everywhere. And do your research if you don't believe it. But anyway, I'm going to prove, according to the Bible, that Babylon is America, okay? And America is in the Bible. It doesn't say America because when the prophets wrote it, it wasn't called America. As if a prophet wrote something for 2,000 years from now, the name wouldn't be what it says it is, okay? Jeremiah 51:62. Then shalt thou say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place. Now, when you read this whole chapter, it's talking about Babylon, okay? To cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. Okay, so when you look at it right now, this future prophecy, when it gets cut off, nobody's going to be able to dwell here. And that sounds like nuclear war. Okay? That hadn't happened yet. That sounds like nuclear war. That nobody will be able to dwell here. Okay? So, and I'll get to the comments, okay, because you Edomites are out of your goddamn mind. But that's your pride, okay? Without your pride, there couldn't be a World War III. So that's what it is. And you know, this place, they'll tell you when you go to school not to fight anyone, not to hit girls. They'll say all these things about morality. And in the meanwhile, these devils will set up situations, order up KO. They'll set up situations and create terror, and out of terror comes tyranny, okay? Out of terror becomes control. We have the answer. And that's what they do. The 300-something embassies America got set up around the globe, what do you think they're doing? This is what they've always done. And they do it under the name of peace, if you notice this, okay? The 9/11 was fake. Everybody knows it. But a lot of you sheeple Americans, you don't know. You don't know what the hell going on. All you know is you want baseball and apple pie, which those days is over. You get sold out baseball and GMO'd apple pie. Okay, this is Isaiah 13 and 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will pay low the hardiness of the terrible. Okay, now the Lord is going to, and who's proud? The so-called white man. And we'll say America, who's ran by the so-called white man. Okay, now we say so-called white man because you got people with even brown skin that's Caucasian. Okay, so let's get that straight. It's not strictly on skin color, but we're saying because so we can identify with the nation of people. Okay, now when we look at the so-called Jews that run Hollywood and run the world, let's say that, they orchestrated the Warburgs. They all orchestrate the wars, man, going back and forth. This is all set up, false flags and set up. You know, these things are all orchestrated and set up, okay, to send you to war to manipulate the population, so to speak. Okay, they call it thinning the herd. Okay, let's go to some comments to believe. I can't believe that these people will say the U.S. military is getting ready to wipe Russia off the map. Russia is more righteous than America. Now, years ago, when I was coming up, it was Russia was the bad guys. Well, now it seems like things have turned, that America's now the bad guy, okay, because they was just putting on the front. What's in the dark always comes to light. So let's see the comment. It says, why the heck war? Why not unite and build a peaceful world? Build a peaceful world, because you know why? That's not going to happen. Because the one who created this earth is the one that's going to do that. They're trying to create a so-called new world order in their own peaceful world where they govern and dictate and control the people, man. Okay? So that's not going to happen. And a person go on to say, war will annihilate the human race. What do we accomplish from war? And war is not going to annihilate the human race. Okay? The scripture says the earth abideth forever. So war is not going to. Now the human race, okay, whatever you want to call it, divided into nations. If you read the scriptures in Leviticus and Deuteronomy 32 and 7, the Lord divided the human race. Okay? Now, these people are saying these type of things and they're pleading their case, but where was these people when we was being brought in captivity and still in captivity and getting shot and gunned down in the streets and even set up, orchestrate plans and orders for us to kill each other through gangster rap, gangster hip hop, man. So now we're shooting and killing each other. Now the Bloods and Crips are set up, red and blue, right after the goddamn American flag. They're telling you they set it up, man. Okay? Somebody said, what a fool. Even if that were true, Russia would unload all they have before they go down. That's true. That's absolutely true. Okay? Okay, this is Bible prophecy. Okay, Gog and Magog. This is Bible prophecy. That Russia is going to, they will unload all they have. Okay? And whether you want to believe it or not, they do have the strongest nuclear weapon arsenal on the planet. They may not fund and put money into shit else on a level, but they will fund their military. Okay, and America can't keep up, man. Okay, let's go to another comment. Okay, UN, why can't it be possible to ban army? Okay, here's another one. Somebody said wipe Russia off the map. Are you out of your mind? Both USA and Russia are equipped to guarantee automatic mutual destruction if there are no Russians or Americans left alive. And he goes on to speak. Now, as I had a vision maybe 2-3 months ago, I saw America's U.S. military rockets going up into space and turning around and coming back down towards the earth. Okay, so it may be triple destruction for America. The bottom line is this place is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. Why? Because God is upset. The one you call God is upset with America. Especially what you did to the children of Israel. See, the so-called white man doesn't want to have to pay back anything that he's ever done. But everything he's done, including to those in the Middle East and what he's doing over there in Syria, which Syria has his own has a chemical company by the U.S. set up in Syria, and all of a sudden there's a chemical attack in Syria. Yeah, okay. Let's go back to Revelation. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations of tongues. Okay. The whore sitteth. When you look at the Herogenous demon, Lady Liberty, or whatever you want to call it, guess what? This is where the whore sitteth, where all nations of people, remember, they brought us over into slavery. First of all, when they came over here and stole it, the land from the natives, they were already a nation of people that you stole, raped, robbed, and conquered. Okay? Then you devils had the nerve to, when you turned them against each other to conquer their land, you devils bought more natives, and you bought the so-called blacks, okay, the real Jews over here to serve slavery. And then you had the natives as taskmasters, as slave owners over the so-called black man, okay? And then you use black men to put slave owners over themselves. See, you devils, you use a divide and conquer tactic that's worked for centuries, okay, for a very long time, and that's what you're doing, okay? And this is the multitudes, nations, and peoples of tongues. And after you enslaved this, then you had what you so-called the immigrants. You had the Irish as well, which a lot of the Irish, not all, but a good number of the Irish are Israelites too, because you treated them like shit. You called them the Black Irish. If you look on the movie The Titanic, that shows you there was two nations of people on that ship. Okay? So you got a bunch of multitudes, nations, of tongues, and this place is nothing but corporate. Okay? That's why it's called corporate America. It was all set up for big business. And a part of that thick clay, which is your debt, is you putting the so-called blacks in slavery and Native Americans. There's a lot of bloodshed that you have to pay for. And you devils have the nerve to put there's no statute of limitations on murder, but you could be the biggest murderers on the planet and get away with it. Okay? This is Revelation 18, and I'll try to make it quick. Therefore shall her plagues, well, let's go to 6. Reward her, talking about America. You heard the song, God Bless America. Reward her as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. Okay? Now, I'm not going to switch topics, but there was a so-called Israelite woman that got on the page and said, well, wait a minute, you guys just want strange flesh in the kingdom, you want to just have sex with white women. That's not what this is about. This is about payback, retribution. What you so-called white people did, you raped and murdered our women, okay? You killed our men and raped their women, or raped them right in front of their husband, okay? I could guarantee you, you so-called black people went to see their goddamn movie, the Panther or whatever, but you didn't go see the Nat Turner movie. You ain't pay attention to that. The movie theaters was empty. That's the movie that should have been crowded. But Esau didn't set it up and persuade you to look at that movie, man. So yes, in the kingdom of heaven, there's going to be, and even before then, other nations of women, the same thing is going to happen that you did to our women. You women are going to get raped too, okay, and get taken, and you're going to be sold. Read the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. If I had another hour to go into this lesson, I'd break it all down, man. Go to and it's all in the spirit. But when you go to Joel, the 3rd chapter, it says, ye have sold the children of Israel, and guess what? We're going to sell you back, man. Okay? Verse 9, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. That's even going into now, but even back then, when America was set up, all the kings of the earth, okay, was all about, later on down the line in the Renaissance, they was about bringing them slaves over here, man, and bringing us into slavery and taking Jake out of rulership, man. Okay? Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Okay? So all the other nations are going to look at America. These other countries going to look at America and see her burning, man. Okay? Putin want to hit that button quick. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not allowing him to do it. The Lord is not allowing him to do it. So that's why they got a type of false flag set up type of deal. But sooner or later, this thing is going to happen. Because if it wasn't meant to happen, you would not hear of anything about missiles and destruction. Even going back when the Cold War started, man. Okay, let's go to verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Why? Because America is the biggest import-export trade commodity on the planet. Okay? Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. That's why it had a AAA plus credit rating, which is downgraded. Okay? That's why it's in the most debt, because it was the most resourceful in trading. Okay? Standing afar off the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment is come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Okay? When you think of goods, when you think of commodities and exports and the nutrition of the world, you think of America. Everybody knows that. Okay? So this cannot be the Vatican. The Vatican is not doing all of that. Okay? Nowhere on the face of the planet is that happening. Okay? That's why America was set up for slavery. Okay? The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessel of ivory and all manner of vessel precious wood and the brass and the iron and the marble. So John the Revelator couldn't say, well, the 20-inch TV, the 50-inch TVs, the stereos and the cars and the food packages. No, but that's what iron covers. Okay, the marble, the furniture, all that covers. The wood, that's what all that covers, man. Okay, and the cinnamon and the odors and the ornaments. Okay, that's all your fragrances. Okay, sweet swelling goods of foods. Okay, that's all. That's what all that's talking about. Okay, because you get a lot of food from other countries, man, on them ships. And cinnamon and odors and ornaments and frankincense and wine and oil, right? Because you get oil to America. Fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots. You get the point. And it goes on to say, and slaves and souls of men. Okay? This puts it all together. Okay? This is what you're doing. And guess what? Jake's still a slave, because you know who work on them ports? A lot of Israelites, man. You paying them cheap labor. Notice the sit-down jobs where they making all the top dollars. They got a suit and tie on, and they making the top dollars. But them labor jobs, man, that burn you out in 5 years and then replace you, they pay you the less, man, the least. That's slavery, man. Okay, and that's pretty much it. It goes on and on and on. But let me go on to the last part. And cried. Let me go on to the last part. For 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster. Okay, this is also proven. This is Babylon, America, and all the company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea. This doesn't happen to the Vatican, man. Okay, now you have other places who may have trade by sea because we bring things to their country, but to here is where most of the trade, import, exports is done. America doesn't even create anything right now. It's all bought here, assembled, or shipped out or imported, man. Okay, it goes on to say, and the shipmasters and all the company of ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So that means you Asians, you foreigners, so-called foreigners that come into this country, set up screwed up GMO chicken shacks in our community that sell it as cats and dogs in your Chinese restaurants. Guess what? Oh, you're going to cry and lament for America. Okay? You're going to be in the worst shape, because now that'll be the end of merchandise, so to speak. Before the men of the Lord come take you heathens and put you in slavery, man. Okay? Alas, alas, the great city where were made rich, and all had ships, and all the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she made desolate. So this proves also this can't be taught. Esau can't be the Arabs, you idiots, because the Edomites are the so-called white man. Okay? The so-called Arabs, which means mixture, is a mixture of heathen nations, Edomites and Ishmael and different nations. Okay, so in order for the Arabs to be the Edomites, that this would have to be talking about old Babylon. Well, this is the daughter of Babylon. Okay, they don't have that kind of money and ships and imports and exports like that, man. As great as America. Now they may do it, but it's not nothing. Nobody's on the level of America. That's why it's called the great city. Okay? Nobody's on that level, man. That proves that. To me, it's a joke for anybody to say that America's going to wipe Russia off the map. Get the hell out of here, man. Russia's going to destroy this place and many other nations, man. You know, Esau, your time is up, man. That's all I have on that. I want to say shalom.